I am asked all the time by relocating buyers and also buyers within Massachusetts, where should my family live? I get this question quite a bit, but I'm going to give you an honest answer that might sound like a dodge for a little bit, and then I will give you some useful information as well. So obviously, I'm not going to pick a town for you, not because I don't have opinions and not because I don't know these towns. I grew up right in Auburn, Massachusetts, which is in central Massachusetts, so I have a lot of familiarity with the area, but it's because there is a fair housing rule, and fair housing is something that's really important, and I want to make sure that we're complying to that. I don't want to steer anybody towards one town or another, and I don't want to nudge anybody towards one town or another. I want people to choose a town based on what's best for them, their families, and what it is that they do for work, their activities, all of the things that come with choosing the right town. So what I can do, and what I do with all of my clients, is hand you the framework and data to help you decide what works best for you. So we're going to go through 9 towns: Shrewsbury, Westboro, Holliston, Northborough, Hopkinton, Grafton, Boylston, West Boylston, Auburn. So let's run through those. Okay, so first I want you to start with the number, not the map. So budget first. A lot of times people are going to fall in love with a town and then they find out what it costs and we start to feel a little bit bad. So flip that. Don't fall in love with the town first. Get your pre-approval before you build a town list. Not a pre-qualification off of a website. Have a real conversation with a loan officer who has looked at your income, your assets, your debts, your credit, your liabilities, all of that. And here's why that comes first. So your monthly payment isn't just the mortgage. It is the mortgage plus taxes plus insurance. And property tax varies from town to town. So there may be a town that we're looking at that we really like and that has higher property taxes. You're going to be able to afford a little bit less. Same thing, property taxes may be less in a town and you can afford a little bit more. So 2 houses at the same price in 2 different towns can carry noticeably different monthly payments once the taxes are in the picture. So Massachusetts publishes tax rates for every municipality through the Department of Revenue's Division of Local Services. That is free, it's public. So you can look up all of the towns that you're interested in, write down the rates, and just have an idea of those. When you know your number with your lender, some of these towns may fall off of your list. We may add more towns, etc. That's totally fine. That is the list working. So step 2, access and commute. This is the most concrete thing on the list. So actually, we're going to break this down a little bit. And I want to be clear, these are really geographic facts. They're not recommendations. So towns that have MBTA commuter rail station in the actual town, the Framingham to Worcester line, Westboro and Grafton have these in town. If somebody in your household is going to be going to Boston regularly, that is a real difference with the commute, something that you want to think about, and that would be hard to change later if you have a difficult commute. So towns that are near a station in a neighboring town, Hopkinton is near Southborough and Ashland, which both have stations, and then Holliston, closest stops are Ashland, Framingham. So if you are driving or if you're going to commute out of Worcester's Union Station, you would be looking at Shrewsbury, Northborough, Boylston, West Boylston, Auburn. Okay, so rough picture of the highways, and verify this against your map for your specific commute, but I-495 corridor. So if that's where you're getting your commute from, you're looking at Hopkinton, Westboro, Northborough. If you are looking for Mass Pike, I-90 access, Auburn, Westboro, Grafton, Hopkinton. Route 9 corridor, that's Shrewsbury, Northborough, and Westboro. 290, you're looking at Shrewsbury, Northborough, Auburn. I-90, which is north of Worcester, you're going to be looking at West Boylston and Boylston. Auburn really sits at the junction where the Mass Pike, 290, 395, they all come together. And Holliston is the real Metro West outlier of this group of 9, Route 16 and 126. So that one's a little bit kind of outside of the best or major commuting towns. Here's what I would suggest that you do. Open up your map, set the departure time to when you would normally leave. Do it for each town on your list, whether it's these towns or other towns, and then do it again for 5 p.m. when you're going home or whatever town you go home. Commute is really an important thing. People underestimate it. And honestly, if you are in the area, I would suggest driving it also, because honestly, sometimes I have clients that are like, I'm set on this town, and then we see houses like during off hours, and then they finally have a commute hour. They go to see a house during a commuting hour and they're like, whoa, that was awful. It added X amount of time to my drive and I'm not into it anymore. So check Google Maps, see how long it's going to add to your drive, if it will add at all, and then you can shorten your list from there. Okay, let's talk about ownership costs. So 2 houses, same price, different towns, different monthly reality. There are things to check town by town. So first, you're going to want to check water and sewer. Is it on town water and sewer, or is it well or septic? This varies not just by town, but it also varies by neighborhood within the town. So if you've got a septic, that means you're going to have a Title V inspection, and that's going to be tied to the sale of the property. It has to pass in order for a lender to give you a loan. And a well means testing and its own maintenance as well. So town water and sewer means a utility bill instead. None of these are like better. People have their own preferences. They're different, but you want to make sure that you're calling the town's water or DPW department and ask about the specific address that you're looking at. And then we're going to talk to the homeowner about their monthly costs as well. Next, we're looking at trash and recycling. Some towns pick up, some use a bag or a sticker, some contract privately, but that's another cost that we're going to be adding on. Next, the age of the housing. So this is my renovation brain talking again, but some of these towns have a lot of pre-war housing. Some have a lot of 1980s and newer subdivisions, and that's going to drive your maintenance budget, your insurance, whether you're dealing with things like knob and tube or lead. So again, not bad things, just things that you want to make sure you're budgeting for if you need to. And then we're talking lot size and what comes with it. So an acre is different than a quarter of an acre, of course. Some of these towns have larger lots, some are a little more rural, some are more compact. So look at your lots and understand what that maintenance cost is going to be as well. Schools and safety. So this section is, of course, what everybody is curious about. So I do not rate schools. I don't rate neighborhoods, not because it's a secret, but because my opinion is not data. So I like to use niche.com. I go to niche.com, I plug in a town, and I send this to my clients, and they can take a look at whatever town that they're interested in. It will score the schools, it'll score the safety, it'll score all sorts of things, and it's a great resource for you. So niche.com is definitely an area to check out for this section, and just to check out whatever towns you're specifically looking at. For schools, go straight to the state. Massachusetts DESE publishes a school and district profile for every district. It publishes enrollment, class sizes, per pupil spending. It puts out staffing, assessment results, graduation rates, course offerings. It is the raw materials. It's not somebody's letter grade, obviously. So it's just the data. And then do something that a lot of people don't do. Call the district and schedule a tour. I mean, I'm doing that personally. My son's going into kindergarten, and it's a different school that I went to, and I'm scheduling a tour. I'm going to talk to the principal. I'm going to be asking about specific programs, and I'm going to be talking about the school. And that's something that you should do too. Get to know the principal, get to know the teachers, get to know the school itself. A district that's average on paper might have exactly the special education services that you need, or the music program that you need, or the vocational pathway that you're looking for. So whatever it may be, definitely get in person if you're able to. For crime data, again, you can go to the source, individual police department websites. They publish logs, reports. You can go to FBI's Crime Data Explorer for reported statistics and look at that stuff. Again, niche.com has a lot of this as well, and will rate everything. And then to get to know the town a little bit, you can go to the grocery store, the coffee shops, go local and kind of see what the people are like, who you bump into. All right, next we are going to talk about what is actually out there, the outdoor stuff. Since I am personally very active outdoors, I like to be outside, I like to bike, I like to hike, I like to walk, I like to do all of those things. So that's really important to me personally. May not be important to you, but other things may be. So Boylston, West Boylston, those sit around the Wachusett Reservoir. They've got Mount Wachusett nearby, state parks. Shrewsbury runs along Lake Quinsigamon. Hopkinton has Hopkinton State Park, which is amazing. And Hopkinton is also the start line of the Boston Marathon. So if you are looking at Hopkinton, just know that one day of the year, Main Street is going to be crazy and not accessible. Holliston sits on the Upper Charles Rail Trail, which we absolutely love and we bike all the time. Grafton, Blackstone River Valley, you've got a number of different trail networks there. Northborough, Westborough, significant conservation land and trail systems. Auburn is really the most central group of them all, with highway access to everything, and just commuting wise, Auburn's great. So you can be anywhere you want within 45 minutes, beaches, mountains, city, wherever. So each one of these towns has conservation and trail maps if they've got them on their website. So if getting outside is a priority to you, definitely take a Saturday and check these things out. So as always, budget first, measure your commute, price what the house is going to cost to run, not just to buy. Pull the school and the crime data from primary sources and go tour the district yourself, and visit each town during different times of the day too, before you're deciding to commit to a town if you're not too familiar. I know that I won't pick for you is not a satisfying answer, but I really like to just help people find exactly what's going to work for them and their families and touring different things, going through the data. And I can send you this for specific towns that you're looking for as well. We can talk through what is going to work really best for you and for your family. So let me know what specific questions that you have. Let me know what towns you're looking into, and we can talk that through. I look forward to chatting with you. All of my info is in the description below, and let's set up a time to chat.